Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Today I want to look at the subject of communication, and I want you to think about human design in terms of what it can offer us, not only in terms of self-knowledge, but also in terms of deeper communication. But before we go into that, I just want to remind you of what has already been lost in terms of our ability to communicate with one another. If you're lucky enough to have anyone in your life that has been well educated in their 80s or 90s or 70s or whatever it may be, but older people who remember growing up with writing, fountain pens and writing letters, and you receive a communication that has been carefully considered and each word chosen in order to get the recipient to really get the subtle meanings or the humor or their characteristic that will trigger you in a positive way if it's a nice letter, negative if it's not. But basically, you see in the handwriting, the way it flows, it tells you so much about that person. I imagine graphology is is an art that's going out of the world because people don't write anymore. That individual flow has been removed from the collective stream to a large extent. If you look at the mobile phones and the way that people communicate in short bursts, things are being fractured at this time. And we have the addition of emoticons, where you can say a thank you or a happy or a heart or whatever it is. It's a symbol that can portray a homogenized message. And this is my concern, and this is also my warning, in that the homogenization that has come to the world in the last few decades has really been taking away our ability to use language in a really expressive way. I mean, emoticons, they're brightened, they're visual, they're symbolic, but they don't say what you may want to say. They indicate it, but they indicate it in a homogenized, simple way. No matter how many you use, it's all homogenized. The language itself in all the countries is getting more and more dumbed down. The language, I remember Michael Jackson coming out with the track Bad, where bad is good, and now good is sick. It's like, talk about confusing, talk about the mixture of concepts that are being twisted and reversed, and we go along with them in order to be up to date, in order to communicate in the latest trend that's going. And words we're given from movies and from not only words, but scenarios we're given through films and through characters that are shown to us again and again, and we mimic them. And we get lost in this homogenized mess where when people, especially younger people, when they're talking to each other, I'm not saying they can't communicate, but a lot of the communication is happening through what has already been fed. So it's something to acknowledge, it's something to see that this is happening, and it's something to resist. Now, human design comes along, and shows us the unique body graph of every single person. So immediately when you know someone's chart and you come to meet them, you know what type they are. If you're dealing with a non-energy type, you have to be cognizant of the energy and the way it can flag after a time. If you're with tribal people, they'll use the tribal language. You'll recognize it, you'll see it. This wonderful power that human design has to show us keynotes that are spoken. I mean, you look at your own chart. If you've got filters in the solar plex and they're purely tribal, you're going to be using tribal words when you get upset. You're going to be using treachery and turning one's back and all the different keynotes that can be associated with that. And likewise, in the positive way, there will be the tribal love words that will come out of someone, whether they have that center fixed or not. So have a look and see. There will naturally be things and words that you will use, expressions you will use based on your own chart. It's you speaking. Yes, you've got a body graph, but you're going to be expressing it as it is. And the beautiful thing is that people who know about human design can recognize it, can see it, can understand it, can accept it. It's just the way you are with what you have in you, which gives great scope for real communication. I remember Ra talking in a lecture, but I remember him saying, you should hear some of the conversations I have with my human design friends, because they're real conversations. So I see human design as part of the information coming through the rebel, Ra-Uru-Hu, and it is, in my view, a fantastic antidote to the dumbing down of language and to the dumbing down of the way we communicate. It can really help people meet each other as themselves. And it's something that we also, it's a win-win situation, because we also gain. We learn more about that quality or that life force or that type again and again as we meet the channels again and again. We recognize the language. We see it everywhere. It's like it opens up the world to you in terms of communication and truth words. The truth can be heard. The lies can be heard. If you have someone, if you have an open will person and they say, yes, I promise, I'm going to be there. Well, they may be, they may not. It's not like they would like to, but they don't have that power. If they overpromise, or if a non-sacral with the 29 in the as a filter, they're going to overcommit. You can see that, and you can know that when they're telling you they're going to commit to what you want to do or what they've agreed to do, and you can go, yeah, well, let's look at that, shall we? Let's have a conversation about that, because I know that you're an open sacral. So let's be real. What is your capacity to commit, and how long for? And let's bring that into the equation in the way that we go forward. So in that way, it not only enables you to communicate, and to communicate using not just the keywords and everything that they bring. There's a richness of language that becomes available because of the differentiation of the keynotes and the way that Ra has presented the information. And that to me is not only incredibly exciting, it is a pushback against what's happening. And it increases your intelligence, because it increases the quality of the communications that you are then able to have with people. And as you deepen your learning in human design and the testing of it in your own life with people, you get to see, what's going on. I mean, if you're in front of a transmitter, you're being managed in some way. That what they're saying to you, well, it may not be the whole truth. It's designed to get you to get their viewpoint, or to do what they want you to do, or whatever. You're being managed. You can see it happen. If you're with a generator and you're talking to a generator, listen to their sounds. It's not just words, it's the sounds. If you know enough about human design, you can see it in movements, you can see it in expressions, you can see their chart coming alive in front of you. So you can learn and you can communicate with what that is, whatever it is, knowing that energy is in them, seeing it come out. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it enriches each one of us. You know, it'll enrich the communication, it will enrich the trust, it will enrich the love between people, because you know what they are and you hear them expressing what they are. And that's a beautiful thing. And this is a beautiful knowledge. And it's there for us as humans to be really able to meet the other with this understanding right from the get-go. Even before you meet them, you have the chart to look at, and then you can see it, and you can see how it comes out of them. Wonderful. It's just wonderful. Not only does human design help you to communicate in a deeper and more meaningful way, but it also helps you to help the other in their journey. So, for example, if you're speaking to a generator and you've asked them if they want to do something, and they go, yeah, okay, and there's no energy behind it, there's no ready to go, well, you know, their energy doesn't want to do it. So you need to have a conversation. You know, maybe it's not the right time, or maybe there's something that's they're concerned about, or whatever it may be. It may be that they don't have that particular power that you're asking of them. If you're asking them to do something, to finish something, and they don't have that power to finish something, they're not going to be able to do it in the way that you may expect. In seeing someone through their chart, through the knowledge, in speaking to them with the level of knowledge that you have, will open up so many things and lead to greater, meaningful communication. And we need that in the world. And I am very happy to see human design spreading throughout the world and people discovering this. And it's happening. Very exciting for me, really is. Never dreamt that it would move so fast. And I'm very pleased to see it. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will be back again very soon with something completely different. Bye-bye for now.